Hey everybody, it is your boy Kayo from Red Fence TV. It's been a while. I think I haven't posted in quite a while, but also a few things have been going on personally. As you can see, I'm settled back, still doing the same show, but based now. So if you guys want to come see the Book of Mormon, London, West End, come check your boy out. Now, here's the thing. I wanted to have a very quick conversation with everyone because United have just lost 2-1 to Newcastle at away, where Newcastle had a red card and they played possibly the entire second half with 10 men, and they basically probably, I didn't get to see the full game because I'm working, but from what I understand it was a bit of smash and grab in the sense that against the run of play it seems, but throughout most of the match, even after they got the red card, they were still putting up a good fight. And I wanted to post when I felt like friends, fan base, haters, everybody was, would be willing to listen, because nobody was going to hear anything that I was going to say that wasn't fully positive. When, oh, there's some here, was that? I don't know what it is. They wouldn't want to hear what I had to say if things were going really well, and I'm like, oh, well, I don't know about this, I don't know about that, oh, they're Carrick hater, this, that, and the other. But at the same time, if I wanted to say, things are shit because we were under Amarin, but give him time, they'd be like, we don't care about that, we're still losing, yada yada. So this is the perfect time. Do not panic yet. It was bound to happen. I think at this point, the signs were there in the last 3 games. The signs were always there. We went to a quality side that are well coached, that are, I don't know if they're fighting, I can't remember where they are in the league exactly, but I would like to think that they're fighting for at least Europa League or Conference League places. And they want to secure safety for sure from getting in a relegation battle. And we have been going well, but the moment we started to play, we stopped playing teams that wanted to play football with us. And then the moment we started to play teams that saw us as a threat and prepared for that threat, we did not have plan B, C, and D to deal with them. And we got by through, individual brilliance, maybe some tactical changes, a super sub here and there, some players hitting form and stuff like that who are playing more in their natural positions and getting a chance and having to prove themselves. But, squad depth is still a thing that we need to figure out. We don't have that kind of squad depth. We got the bodies, but we don't have equal like for like. So when we take someone out, the quality is still there. It's a huge drop off when you go from Casemiro to Ugarte, right? Basically, that's just an example. So this was bound to happen. If you'd ask us after 8 games with Carrick coming in interim, if it would have been a case of 6 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, would you take that? After the start that we had for the season, I would bite your hands off, kiss you on the forehead, and call you mama. Like I would have done, I would have done anything you wanted me to. So don't panic. We're still in our top 4. We put ourselves very well in our top 4 race. I think this is a good wake-up call and a shake-up for everybody to understand that it's not done yet, and it's not a case where things can be going our way and we could still lose the game. Now, again, just to touch quickly on Amarim, I think that Amarim was hard done by. I think that he was making mistakes. He had a few criminal charges against him, like what the hell he was doing with Kobe Menu, what he was doing going back to a back 3 after he saw some success changing to a back 4, knowing fully well that his team wasn't quite yet ready to deal with that back 3 system, and it was going to see us probably just treading water above the relegation line if he were in charge right still up to this point. So, but the also thing I would keep on saying is we decided to go down this direction and to pull out of that, to not fully back him, give him second, third choices for what he was asking for, and not backing him fully to the hill for what he wanted, whether we agreed with it or not, wasn't fully backing him. So you can't say they fully backed him, but you also can't say they totally hung him out to dry with the players that he got, because look at what's happening with with the players that we have. They're firing. You understand? And they're firing because they were played in their natural positions. They were supported well by other players who were doing well in their positions. I think you have our front 4 is interchangeable. They can play in that three systems, because they've also played in three systems, both Mbeumo and Cunha. Bruno is smart enough to do what he needs to do in any system, but he's underutilizing Amorim's system. And I think most of the players that were performing under Amorim, they were either, in my opinion, best case with other than Bruno and maybe Casemiro and a couple of others, they were bench level in a team that, if Amorim had his exact way as to the team that he wanted to build, and then you gave him less than what he asked for a little bit, then you interfered, which came out later on that they were interfering with his choices and all these type of things, even though they said, you're going to run the show, we're going to back you with whatever you want. But Ineos had already made a plan that they were going to build for the future. And my opinion is, if that's what you're going to do, and your idea of what the future looks like is different from the guy you brought in, that's your fault. That is your fault. You brought somebody who's not on the same page. What kind of nonsense is that? So now, you, just like with the former director that we had, director of football, that you fired very quickly, Ashworth, and spent a lot of money on him, you've done the same to Amorim. So now you've gone really far away down the road, and you're pulling out of it. Now you've got Carrick back in, and the same thing with Solskjaer. Everybody, the feel-good feeling is back. The DNA, as everybody likes to say, is starting to creep back in terms of the never-say-die attitude and how we play to the final whistle, yada, yada, yada. But it will take more than that to get us to the end of the season. As you can clearly see, because we just faced an opposition that also refuses to die. As a matter of fact, everything seemed to go against them today, and they still came out with the win. So, at the end of the day, when it boils down to it, this is a wake-up call. Ineos, you, right now, have just torpedoed your own plans for the future. And you've gone back to a plan that was pretty much similar to what the Glazers were doing. Albeit, you guys have a much better structure than they do, and I think that you guys can do it better, many times better than they ever could. So now, stick with something. Because I understood, and everybody says Amorim had us believing that things were going to be terrible and for a long time. But yes, of course, whether it was him, whether it's Carrick, whether it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Everybody is looking at this situation like, oh, we're back, or we're going to be back. And, but bruh, Carrick in the long term, trying to settle this whole team down and keep it performing at this level, will have the same issues that Amorim had with player power, with dealing with players' egos, this wage bill if they have to keep it down, the interference now that we know that's coming from the top, from Sir Jim. Hopefully, by the way, Sir Jim, we'll get to that just now. And so at the end of the day, this is Ineos' last chance for me. You went down a road, with Ashworth, you abandon it. You went down with Amorim, down that road, you abandon it. That's two strikes. This is your third strike. Whatever choice you make now, and you're saying this for long term, this is your last chance with me. After that, it's Ineos completely out. You're on fraud watch with me right now, because you are doing some good things. In terms of, as you can see with the players that we have, as you can see with the results that we've been getting once we've done the right things and done the most common sense type things. So moving forward, you have something that works right now, that could work, that can compete. You build on that. We've never played a back three in our lifetime. Things was so bad, I was willing to be like, you know what? Maybe it's time to change the DNA. Back three. But that means metamorphosis. That means pain. That means years of trial and error. That means flirting with mediocrity for the foreseeable future. But for the long-term benefits, I was willing to wait to see that happen. Because we were in the doldrums in the 80s before Sir Alex came along. You understand? People have gotten so spoilt on the success. But that success wasn't built in 2-3 years. It was built in like 8 before Sir Alex saw his first trophy with us. So you all need to... It was 8? I can't remember, but it was a long time. So at the end of the day, we've now course corrected. Whatever direction you decide that we need to go now, stick with it. And I'm not saying years and years and years. I'm just saying whoever you decide to go with, whatever structure you tweak this to be, you guys have a should have an idea of at which point in time you want to see success. Make that known and stick with it. If it's reasonable, the fans will back you. If not, you guys gotta go. You guys shouldn't be in charge of anything if that's the case. So anyway, that's that. As far as we're playing right now, it's our first loss in a bit. We've played pretty well over the last like 6-7 games, with the last 3 games being shaky, I think, in terms of overall performance. And this is a clear indication that we are hitting a wall with some injuries, with some players not hitting full form. I mean, if you look at it, our front 4 should be fairly consistent, which is great, but we have is a top 5, with Ahmad being the only one that is realistically being swapped in and out for him and Sesko, or him and Buemo, or him and Cunha. Like, we need another attacker so that you can freshen them up and have like 2 and swap 2 and 2, which is pretty much what Sir Alex did. He went in his 4-4-2. He had 4 strikers. You understand? That's the kind of depth you need and quality in that depth. So I'm gonna go review the game, but I genuinely think it's more of the same from the last 3 games, and we just came across a better side, on a side that had just as much, if not more, of a never say die attitude than we have in the last 7 or 8 games. You know, fortunately for us, other teams dropped points, so we're still well within the race. We still probably have a bit of a cushion on a couple other teams. We may have slipped down to 4th. I can't remember what the table looks like right now, but I'll go and check all of that. But it's not time to despair. We need to back Carrick. We need to back the boys. We need to really hammer it home to them that they have gotten themselves. They have earned the right to be in the position that they're in right now. They should not let it slip. Fight hard until the end of the season, and then we decide to go from there. All right. Anyway, those are my immediate thoughts. Wanted to keep it brief. Love and peace. Kaya from Red Vince TV. Take care, guys. See you all soon.